Today we have the 2025 Toyota Crown Signia, which is all new in the Toyota lineup. It adds luxury, 38 miles per gallon, all-wheel drive, and just a nice overall package, all in one, slotted between the Highlander and the RAV4 as a new premium option. Today we're going to take a full detailed look at the exterior, the interior, see who this Crown Signia is really for, and get it out on the road for a test drive. Let's get started. All right, y'all, let's take a look at all the exterior details of this all-new 2025 Toyota Crown Signia. Now let's start with the trim levels. There's just two, the XLE and the Limited model, which is shown right here. We'll talk about some of the differences on the outside and the inside, but right up front, Toyota's got this unique grille. It's almost like perforated in a sense, where you just got little holes in there. It's a very sleek looking front end, as you can see. So you've got the headlights below, you've got the running lights up above. So you've got that split design. You also have an LED turn signal built in right here. You've got a camera in the front and a sensor for our safety features. But what do y'all think of the looks of this Crown Signia? Now the paint on this one is called Storm Cloud. I think it looks good. There's actually been a lot of people that have talked about it and they like it as well. One of the big differences between XLE and Limited is in the wheels. So we've got 21-inch wheels on this Limited model, 19-inch on the XLE. And one more thing about the headlights is they are auto leveling on the Limited trim, but not the XLE. Now another thing for a difference between the two is going to be in the mirrors. So all the mirrors are going to have the turn signal in them. They're all going to be power folding, but reverse tilt is an option as well. Now, side profile and dimensions, it's 194.1 inches long. So it is a good bit longer than the RAV4, which is below this. Not quite as long as the Highlander, but pretty darn close. And ground clearance is just 6.7 inches. So it almost looks a little bit more like a wagon to me. And it doesn't even come with tinted windows like most crossovers do. So it's basically a wagon if you ask me, but it is still technically EPA class for a sport utility vehicle. And then coming to the back, we've got LED taillights. We've got this bar running across as well. It's pretty sleek and pretty slim back here. One more thing you get is the very low profile roof rails up above. Now, one bonus to this Crown Signia is that the hands-free power liftgate is standard. You can still open it with a key fob or a button back here or a button inside, but you also have the hands-free option. And it's a height adjustable liftgate as well. The only con to this cargo area for me is that it does not come with a spare tire, just a tire inflator kit. And it's hands-free close, so that's nice. Taking a closer look at the cargo area, it's going to depend a little bit on whether or not you have the panoramic roof. That's really if you got things, all the way up to the top. But the width back here from there to there is actually quite wide. So you've got a good amount of space with that. It's a nice level and flat load floor. So I think that's a big perk to a lot of you. You also have this tonneau cover that you can use, and you have these levers to pull down the seats. So Toyota made it easy and convenient to be able to fold those seats down. And I think that the target market here, that's perfect for that. We also have a little hook on each side and some tie downs as you normally see in other vehicles. Now, as I mentioned, the one con, so under here we've got this little lever and some extra space. There is no spare tire back here. There's just a tire inflator kit and some small storage. Now, one more thing about the cargo is that not only are these seats like super flat right here, but you have these panels. So check it out. They just, you wouldn't even know they're there, but they fold out. And depending on where your seats are, you can fold it flat so it's like an extension of cargo in here. So that's nice. Now for reference, I'm 5'9". This is where I have my seat comfortably and I can't fold it down. But obviously once it's down and you move this underneath of here, you can have a little bit more space, but I can't quite have it flat. Now, Toyota's key fob right here, we have this little glove on it. You can get this as an option, but it's pretty simple. Start, unlock, and the trunk. But if you do a 3-button press and lock it, it will automatically start. So you've got remote start. Once everything starts flashing, it takes a minute to get going. But then with the hybrid system, I can see that it is on the inside. It just doesn't always make a sound, but you've got the smart key system on both the front and the rear doors, and you got power folding mirrors. To lock it, All you gotta do is push a little button right there, you're good to go. Now, the front seats of this Crown Signia, it's a really nice low entry point. It seems like it's a little lower than some others. Like I mentioned, it almost seems more wagon-esque. So if you have any mobility impairments, it's not bad getting in here at all. All the seats, or all the trims, the two trims are gonna come standard with leather seats. They have some nice bolstering, some nice shaping to them as well. They're also very comfortable. I have been very, very comfortable in these seats overall. And down here, you still get two-way lumbar support. I'm a little surprised we don't have four-way lumbar support, at least on the Limited, to kind of differentiate it. But you still have height and tilt in your regular functions there. But very nice, comfortable seats overall, and the headrest is not intrusive. Now, this is very much like Lexus, except it doesn't have a power tilt or telescoping wheel. This is manual no matter what trim level you get, but it is a heated leather wrapped wheel as standard on here. So comfort features abound as standard features. We also have heated seats, ventilated seats, and there's the control for your two-tiered heated steering wheel. You even have, kind of like Lexus, the option to have it on auto, to where it can automatically turn on if you want it to. And like I said, I've been very comfortable in here. You know, there's always little quirks about seats, but I've been really comfortable in here the whole time. I've done a couple of longer drives, had no trouble at all. Now, let's take a look at the back seat. So first of all, you've got this nice two-tone panel on here. You've got a really massive bottle holder down there. We even have heated seats. We'll talk more about that, the JBL sound system. But let's go ahead and hop in. The nice thing is that those heated seats are actually standard on both trims. So comfort is not sacrificed, even on the lower XLE trim. You've got a couple of USB-C charging ports, you've got air conditioning vents, you have mat pockets on both sides. In the middle, we have this armrest, which has decent sized cup holders and some nice padding for the armrest. So this Crown Signia is definitely built for comfort compared to some other like crossover minivan types that have sunshades. This one does not have those built in. We get this massive panoramic roof. Let me go ahead and open that up. That's better. Take a look at that. The weird thing though is that it's actually a fixed glass roof, but you've got a nice view out of here. Legroom is pretty good, obviously. Knee room, definitely not bad. Foot room, I've got the seat. I didn't think it was that low, but I don't have a lot of foot room. I do kind of like to sit with my seat fairly low. And myself, I can sit up tall and have good room back here. So you've got a pretty level profile going back so it doesn't cramp down on the rear passengers. Now, as we hop inside the interior, this is where not only do things look really nice and Lexus-like, but it's where you find more of the differences between the XLE and the Limited. But first of all, let's take a look over on the door. So we've got nice material all the way. You've got this two-tone panel. I think it looks good. You've got a soft padded armrest, a good grab handle, automatic one-touch windows, and then a big wide bottle holder down there. So that is really nice. You also find your memory settings up there. And the memory settings are actually a standard feature, so that is really cool. You got a few more controls on the inside, even some little hidden ones like your hatch to open down there, your fuel door, even trip computer and brightness controls there. But to start it up, push button start right there. And here's the deal. As long as your car says ready, then it's on. But it's in EV mode, so the engine's not running, so you might not hear it running sometimes, and that is normal. This is a driver monitor right here. So this has an advanced driver assist system. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But these little flickering lights you see on the camera, you cannot see in person. However, I sometimes like to have my arm up here to drive or whatever. And if that can't see you, it's gonna let you know. But as we go through the interior, one difference between the Limited and the XLE is the Limited will give you automatic rain sensing windshield wipers. That's just on the Limited model. Both of them will give you this large overfoot display, this 12.3 inch display. I'm not a huge fan of the way that Toyota does this. It does look nice. You've got information there, you've got information on the right, and then a couple selections in the middle. And then you've essentially got like 3 pages to go through with this. I wish it was a little bit more, more choices of what information goes where, but I still think it looks nice. It's very crisp and clear. You've got the speedometer right in the middle, so that is nice to see. If I hold down the settings, or hold down the button on the steering wheel, you can change some of what you see here, or you can go to more settings with this. This is where you find some of your driver assist features. So the PDA, which is like proactive driving assist, not public display of affection. This is really interesting. It's almost like a radar cruise control that is on when cruise control is not on. It's really interesting. But we can also change the meter settings here. So check it out, meter type. You can see different kinds on here, which is interesting. So there's a little bit more adjustability with it, depending on what you want. So that's pretty cool. Steering wheel controls, you've got volume here, seeking here, your mode button for your radio, cruise control settings up there. And then this is the touchpad I was just using to control that. So you're good to go with all of those functions. Now over here, all models are gonna get this large display system too. So it's a 12.3-inch touchscreen. You can have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto shrunken down so you can still see the Toyota menu, or you can expand it like that. So wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto are standard on here, which is nice because you have a standard wireless charging slot right there. I really like this because it's out of sight, out of mind. Your phone stays pretty solid in there as well. So you don't really have to worry about it moving around or anything like that. So it's nice to have that available. You have a volume knob, which has a really nice looking color around it, like this trim. It's almost like a goldish type of trim. But if we go back to the Toyota system, I almost keep thinking I'm in a Lexus. Like literally, it just looks and feels so much like a Lexus, and very similar setup on here as well. But once you get into the Toyota system, there's more things that you can customize on here and see. The energy flow is kind of cool for hybrid. So like if you're driving, you can have that on and it'll tell you if power is coming from the engine or through the battery, or if it's regenerating, or how that's working. So you can kind of babysit it and watch. And speaking of that, over here, I've gotten 37 miles per gallon combined. I was getting about 38 until like last night, when I've kind of had this idling a little bit more and not driving so much. So about 38 over the course of 267 miles, just as advertised. We've got dual zone climate control down below. I like these controls. It's very sleek. You have a screen to see everything, but you have buttons to control what does what, even fan speed, temperature, steering wheel heat, sync it up. All the buttons are right there. You don't have to fiddle with touch screens and things like that. Up here, check it out. We've got a 360 panoramic view monitor, which is optional on the limited trim. This is not something you'll find on the XLE. If we go into reverse, then it's gonna be like this. So you've got dynamic lines, you've got the view over here, so you've got the top-down 360 view. You also have a cleaner for your camera, which is cool. So it even cleans the camera for our rearview mirror. And this is also another thing that you will find just on the limited model. So XLE gets an automatic dimming mirror with garage controls, but this one gets the digital mirror or auto dimming mirror, whichever one you want. So this is a camera to have perfect clear visibility out the back. Then down here, we've got two more USB-C charging ports. There's like a little extra storage spot right there. You can take this out, so if you have a mug with a handle or something, maybe it'll fit better in there. Or you can section stuff off right here as well. Cup holders I haven't had any trouble with. I think that they accommodate most drinks. I had a large Stanley type mug, a Stanley style type mug in here that has worked well. No problems with that. The shifter is interesting. So you've got push for park, move it, and then you go up or down for drive or whatever. That's it. Drive mode selection here, we'll go through that in the test drive. You even have an EV mode button just for low speeds. If you're just creeping or crawling or just, you know, sneaking up on somebody, you can push the EV mode button. Parking brake, traction control, and an automatic brake hold. This defaults to being off every time you turn the car on. So if you want to keep that on, you just got to keep pressing it. Now this armrest is nice and cozy, and check it out, it opens up both ways, so that's nice. Now let's get this tissue out of here. We've got a sliding tray for the wallet. You've got a USB-C port in there, and there's a 12-volt power outlet inside of there as well. So you've got a lot of charging ports in this car. It's even like softly lined inside, so it's pretty nice overall. Moving on over here, we have a locking glove box, but a tiny glove box. But just look at the materials in here. Everything is really nice. I showed you the Limited gets that digital rearview mirror. You've also got all LED interior lighting in here as well. And the one thing that I thought was interesting is the fact that this panoramic glass, it's fixed. It doesn't actually open up. It just has this slider, but it's only on the Limited trim. So keep that in mind. Visibility out of here, you know, like I said, it's kind of wagon-esque. It just seems more long and not quite so scrunched in that rear panel. I haven't had any trouble. We also have blind spot indicators in the mirror. And one more difference that I forgot to mention is that we have the JBL audio system. It's an 11 speaker system instead of just 6 speakers on the Limited trim here. XLE does not have that. Now, under the hood, Toyota only gives us one option, but there's one thing in particular that I really appreciate about this model. But first, let's talk about the specs. This is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder hybrid engine with a nickel metal hydride battery, giving us 240 net horsepower. And I said there's something I really appreciate is the fact that it is a nickel metal hydride battery. Toyota had been using those in the past. Now, a lot of hybrids are lithium ion, but this nickel metal hydride system has proven itself to be a very long-lasting and reliable hybrid battery. And it's got a 10-year, 150,000 mile warranty for that hybrid battery. Another bonus is that this is direct and port injected. It's got Toyota's signature D4S system, so you've got the benefits of the direct and port injection for longevity as well. Efficiency is great. It gets 38 mpg combined, and it can still go 0 to 60 in 7.1 seconds. Not fast, but certainly not slow either. So this is a very solid powertrain, even though it's the only one that we get with this Crown Signia. All right, y'all, we are now behind the wheel of this Crown Signia. So I'm gonna talk about different things with this car as far as the hybrid system, the drive modes, what it's like, comfort, and all of those things. But one thing to note is that this has acoustic glass here, acoustic glass there, and acoustic glass right there as standard. So all trims, both trims, get that acoustic glass. So this is supposed to be a quiet ride. Toyota has absolutely prioritized comfort and convenience like that for this car. So I think this is a great car if that is your priority. Now with the hybrid system, it is a very smooth hybrid. Toyota has done a great job with their hybrids, and we'll talk about what it's like to drive the specific hybrid system here. Before that, this has the full suite of driver assist features. You've got radar-based cruise control as standard. You can do regular cruise too, obviously. You've got lane keeping system. You've got a lane centering technology. You've got blind spot monitoring in here. The Limited trim has the option to have traffic jam assist, which is basically like radar cruise control and lane centering all in one for just low speed stop and go traffic. That's an option on the Limited only. Now with this hybrid system, on that monitor there, you can turn that off. You don't have to keep that on, but that will show us where power is coming from. It's coming from the engine and the battery at the same time right now. I just let off the accelerator, and now it shows that the wheels are helping to regenerate power back into that battery. So the way the hybrids work, they're completely self-sustaining. You don't have to plug them in. They use a battery, electric motor, in combination with a gas engine. So if it needs the gas engine on, it'll turn it on, and it's very seamless. If it doesn't, it'll leave it off. Like right now, we're in EV mode. It'll say so down there. So gas engine just now turned on, and nobody would even notice. Most of you aren't going to notice at all. When you accelerate, you'll be able to hear the engine. There is a drone in these hybrids, but other than that, it's so smooth and so seamless. Toyota has just done a phenomenal job with these hybrids, and they are extremely efficient as well. Now we'll go ahead and step on it just in our normal drive mode here. And this has Toyota's eCVT. It's not your typical belt and pulley CVT, it's electronically controlled. It's totally different, and it's been a very reliable transmission, but with that, it doesn't have the stepped gears like you'll get in a regular transmission. So it just goes. It's just like it's just constantly going, if you know what I mean. Now, I'm going to change drive modes. We've got Eco, we've got Normal, we've got Sport, and your own custom mode. I just put us in Sport mode, and it immediately kicked the engine on right away. You can tell it revs louder, it revs harder, and the acceleration is quick. I mean, this is a fairly quick crossover considering its efficiency level. That's not its priority at all, but it's quick enough to be able to get around people and pass people, which is nice. You don't have to worry about running out of juice when you're trying to pass somebody. Now, handling wise, this is not a crisp handler, but with all of the Toyota vehicles recently, they are confident handlers. It's not like you feel topsy-turvy in here. It's fairly low. The weight of the steering is kind of more of a middle of the road weight of the steering. It's not heavy, but it's not feathery lightweight either. It's also not super responsive, as you can see. I mean, it's a very relaxed steering without being super lightweight. The ride comfort in here is good. Now, I was a little concerned about that considering the large wheels, especially since they're 2 inches larger than the EXL or XLE. But it's still a comfortable ride. It really is. I mean, you feel like you are in a Lexus in here. If you haven't been in a Lexus in a while and you get in this, if you just cover this up, you might think you're in a luxury car. It's just nice in here. It's quiet. This is a rough textured road, but it's still fairly quiet in here. Wind noise is mostly suppressed. You've got a lot of features, very comfortable seats, and Toyota just did a nice job with this. I think the name's a little silly, Crown Signia, but you know, the Crown is the new big car, and this is basically like a crossover version. So I think Toyota did a nice job with it. It's a vehicle that is meant for comfort and practicality and efficiency, and they have nailed it with all of those. Now, to wrap things up on this Toyota Crown Signia, it's all new for 2025. The Venza is gone, and this is in. And this is truly built for comfort. There's only 2 trims. They make it simple, and it's really not about the comfort features, because you still get a lot of standard comfort features in here, a nice ride, and good efficiency with both of those trims. And I think this is a great vehicle if you value comfort, serenity, and just a nice cabin on the inside. It's easy to get in and out. You've got good room to put some stuff inside of it as well. And you've got this reliable, efficient hybrid powertrain. What do you think of this Toyota Crown Signia? Leave your thoughts down below. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day.